I will move on to the demo part. So demo, I will show you two perspectives. One is like we will be working with the public data set. How do you explore public data set when you are working with BigQuery? So I will just open the editor. First of all, you need to open incognito window. So I will open a new incognito window so that everything is fresh. I will go here, right? So I will go to console.cloud.google.com. So I will log into the Google Cloud Console and I will use email address which I have set up. You can create a new email address. So in case you want to know how to set up Google Cloud account, you can go to our YouTube channel. YouTube channel is Data Couch. You can go here, Data Couch YouTube channel. So you will find how to set up GCP account, and you need to take care of some best practices also when you are using GCP account. So you can actually get those best practices in, I think, one of our courses. But right now, just see, if you want to set up, this is how you set up the Google Cloud account. This is the video that you can see. Now, let's say we are here and our project 02 and the account is already set up. So first of all, I will go to this three bars on the top left corner and I will click on it. And here you will see the options. And there are so many options. I will just show you the BigQuery here. So this BigQuery I have already pinned. So can you see there is a pin coming? So whenever I pin anything, then it will appear here. So it is kind of bookmarked so that I don't have to search for BigQuery in this long list. So I already bookmarked BigQuery. In case you want to bookmark Kubernetes engine, you can just use this and then you can see Kubernetes engine is here. If I remove this pin, unpin, then it is gone. You can play with this. Yeah. So this, I'm just showing you that I have already pinned. So I already have BigQuery pinned. So I will click on BigQuery and I will open this console. So in this BigQuery, you will find there are so many things. So very first thing is you have option to add data. Another option is like you can run your query. You have options related to query settings, and there are options related to composing a new query, and then full screen mode, and there are history of query. So you have so many options available in BigQuery. So what I will do, I will first of all add a data set, public data set, because there are so many public data sets already available in BigQuery. So I'll say explore public data set. So I will go here and I will look for the data set that I am interested in. So there are so many domains available. So you can choose based on which domain you are working. So you can choose financial services domain or education domain or developer tools domain, COVID data set. So many data sets are available. So right now I will show you a data set of Chicago taxi. So I'm just typing Chicago here. There are 186 data sets, Chicago taxi trips. When I click here, I can see there is one data set related to that. I go inside it and I can see this data set has some overview. It will talk about like what exactly it is. It is about taxi fare, the taxi trips from 2013 to the present, that is like maybe 2019, and because it was updated 2019, and it will also have details about the various attributes that we have. There are some sample queries also. So what I will do, I will pick up this sample query. So I'll say run this query and it will open another window. So I just came from this place, I executed, I clicked on run this query, and there are other queries also available. So I will just play with one query and then we will see other examples. So we are here. This is Chicago taxi trips, and this particular query is basically for finding maximum, minimum, average fare ride, and it is lasting for 10 minutes or more. So you can see in the query, we are saying trip duration is more than 600. So it is lasting more than 10 minutes. So that's why 600. And it is minimum, it is finding minimum, maximum, average, and then standard deviation also. So this query, we have not even executed, but it is showing me that it will process 4.3 gigs of data. So this gives you an idea like how much data it will process. Apart from that, you have other options here in the query settings. If you go, you will find there is query engine. So there are two query engines. One is BigQuery engine, another one is Cloud Data Flow engine. So Right now we will be using BigQuery engine because we are basically working with the interface, and this we don't want to deploy this particular into cloud data flow. So whenever, let's say, you want to deploy your SQL as part of cloud data flow pipeline, or you are getting data from cloud PubSub, you are ingesting data, and you want to use data flow SQL, and under the hood data flow jobs should be generated, and you will be charged based on that rather than BigQuery charges. So in case you want a different model or different processing engine under the hood, then you can choose data flow engine. But if you don't want, then you can just simply use BigQuery engine. So how was it able to tell me in advance how much data is going to get processed without execution? Yeah, so basically, like this data is actually stored in BigQuery, and as you know, like BigQuery is also for storage, and it stores data in the form of Capstone, so it keeps the statistics of the data. So from that statistics, it is able to tell me like how much data it stores. So this is kind of metadata, and this metadata is stored into a table. Like there are metadata tables which are called information underscore schema. So if you go inside those tables, you will find interesting details about this. So apart from that, you can save a query. You have two priorities. You can run this query in interactive mode, or you can run it in batch mode. So interactive mode, it will be counted in your concurrent query quota limit. So in case you don't want the query should basically run immediately, and you don't want to impact that particular quota, then you can run it in batch mode. So batch mode, the query will run when there are some idle resources in the Google Cloud Data Center. If there are no idle resources, then after 24 hours, it will switch to interactive mode. But it will wait for 24 hours to get some resources from the Google Cloud Data Center. But usually it is executed in minutes. You will never see that the query has taken 24 hours to execute. But in case you want to avoid paying more, then, or you want to avoid paying for the concurrent query quota, so specifically that part, then you can choose batch. But I will be using interactive here. So similarly, you can see there is cached result. So first time when you execute query, it will charge, and it will show you like the results. It will take time, but second time when you execute the query, it will bring from the cache result. So second time it will be very fast. It will take 0 seconds. So I will just show you that example. So I'm not changing anything, so I'll just say cancel. I will run it. So when I run it, it is processing the data, and it will show me the results. So it is showing me from the cache. Maybe I executed this query earlier. So what I will do first, I will go to query settings, and I will change it. I will say don't use the cache result, save it, and I will run it. So I will say run, and when I run it, then it is not using cache. So can you see now it is saying 4.3 gigs processed, and it took 1.5 seconds to process 4.3 gigs. Now I will go back again, and I will change this particular thing to cached, and I will say save it, and I will run it again. So it will be very fast because it will bring data from the cache result. So it is taken 0 seconds, and it is bringing data from the cache results itself. So you can play with this caching, but caching is only for those scenarios when your data is not changing behind the scene and your query is not changing. So there are many limitations when it comes to caching, and it is logical also, right? You can see like your function that you are using in the query is also deterministic function. So it should not happen that you are saying where the trip second is greater than the current time. So current time will keep on changing, the query will keep on changing, then caching will not work as expected, right? So you have to use some deterministic function, then only this will make sense. So hope this is fine. Like you got some idea how we work with this BigQuery.